Top 6 female astronauts in space. To make it to the moon, women have to escape Earth's gender bias. Nowadays, women have excelled in almost every field. But there was a beginning to this. Some women stood as a role model and inspiration to many girls who later went on to do great things in their life. Here's the list of top 6 female astronauts in space. Let's start the list with the First Lady of Space, Valentina Tereshkova. Interesting facts. Tereshkova is best known for being the first woman to travel into outer space with a solo mission on the Vostok 6 on 16 June 1963. She spent almost 3 days in space and orbited Earth 48 times in her space capsule, Vostok 6. That was her only trip into space. Tereshkova later toured the world to promote Soviet science and became involved in Soviet politics. Her total time in space was 2 days, 22 hours and 50 minutes. Valentina Tereshkova is also the only woman to complete a solo mission into outer space. Tereshkova is also the youngest woman to ever travel into space at the age of 26. Next comes the first American woman in space, Sally Ride. Sally Kristen Ride was an American astronaut and physicist. Born in Los Angeles, she joined NASA in 1978 and in 1983 became the first American woman in space. She is also the youngest American in space. Interesting facts about Sally Ride. She decided over scrambled eggs that she wanted to be an astronaut. One morning, she was eating breakfast in the cafeteria and reading the student newspaper when she noticed an article saying NASA was looking for new astronauts, and for the first time, women could apply. Sally realized in that instant that she wanted to fly in space. She immediately dashed off a letter to NASA asking for an application for the astronaut corps. After her death, she received the nation's highest civilian honor. In 2013, President Obama honored Sally with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which he presented to Tam. Mae Jemison was the first black woman to travel to space. She is an American engineer, physician, and former NASA astronaut. She became the first black woman to travel into space when she served as a mission specialist aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour. When Jemison finally flew into space on September 12, 1992, with the 6 other astronauts aboard the Endeavour on mission STS-47, she became the first African American woman in space. During her 8 days in space, Jemison conducted experiments on weightlessness and motion sickness on the crew and herself. She is also a trained medical doctor, served as medical officer in the Peace Corps, and currently runs Biosentient Corp, a medical technology company. Here's an interesting fact about her. She was inspired to become a scientist due to Star Trek. First female space shuttle pilot and commander was Eileen Collins. With 3 space shuttle missions under her belt, Collins has 2 firsts in 1995. She was the first woman to pilot a shuttle, and in 1999, she became the first woman to command a shuttle mission. She was awarded several medals for her work. In 2005, she commanded NASA's first space shuttle flight since the Columbia tragedy. When she was very young and first started reading about astronauts, there were no women. However, she was inspired while she was a child by the Mercury astronauts, and by the time she was in high school and college, new opportunities were opening up for women in aviation. Kalpana Chawla was the first Indian-born female in space. Kalpana Chawla, this name is known worldwide. She was the first American astronaut and engineer who was the first woman of Indian origin to go to space. She first flew in Space Shuttle Columbia in 1997 as a mission specialist and primary robotic arm operator. Her second flight was in STS-107, the final flight of Space Shuttle Columbia in 2003. Chawla died on 1st February 2003 in Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, along with other 6 crew members, when the Columbia disintegrated over Texas during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. Shortly before it was scheduled to conclude its 20th mission, STS-107, at the age of 40. Although Kalpana's second space flight ended in disaster, she is remembered as an extraordinary woman, an inspiration and a role model to many girls. She set a mighty example for being courageous, dedicated and an independent woman who set her eyes on space and followed through her dream. Chawla was a creative astronaut. She liked poetry, dancing, cycling and running. She traveled over 10.4 million miles in 252 orbits of the Earth, logging more than 372 hours in space. After her death, Dr. Chawla was awarded the Congressional Space Medal of Honor, the NASA Space Flight Medal, and the NASA Distinguished Service Medal.